Hey y'all, happy Monday. Welcome to another week of Daily Devos. Ecstatic again about where we're going this week. We're going to go to Romans chapter 8, and you're going to see these connections. Just again, the threads of the Holy Spirit are incredible. And so we've been talking about fear and death, and that Jesus has given us his peace. So he also told us to stop allowing ourselves to be agitated, disturbed, and not to permit ourselves to be fearful, intimidated, cowardly, unsettled. And then last week we spent in depth on 1 Timothy 1 or 2 Timothy 1:7, in that he has given us a calm mind, well balanced, untroubled, and a spirit of self-control. Now, let's go to Romans chapter 8, and I'm going to start in verse 5. And it says, "For those who are according to the flesh are controlled by its unholy desires. They set their minds on and pursue those things which gratify the flesh. But those who are according to the Spirit and are controlled by the desires of the Spirit set their minds on and seek those things which gratify the Holy Spirit. Now the mind of the flesh, which is sense and reason without the Holy Spirit, is death. Death that comprises all the miseries arising from sin, both here and hereafter. But the mind of the Holy Spirit is life and soul peace, both now and forever." That is because the mind of the flesh, with its carnal thoughts and purposes, is hostile to God. For it does not submit itself to God's law. Indeed, it cannot. So then, those who are living the life of the flesh, catering to the appetites, the impulses of their carnal nature, cannot please or satisfy God or be acceptable to him. And let's just go on. "But if you are not living the life of the flesh, you are living the life of the Spirit. And if the Holy Spirit of God really dwells within you, directs and controls you. But if anyone does not possess the Holy Spirit of Christ, he is none of his, does not belong to Christ, and is not truly a child of God. But if Christ lives in you, then although your natural body is dead by reason of sin and guilt, your spirit is alive because of the righteousness that he gives you. And if the Spirit of God, who raised up Jesus Christ from the dead, dwells in you, he who raised up Jesus Christ from the dead will also restore to life your mortal bodies through his Spirit who dwells in you." I wanted to keep going to read that Romans 8:11 because we have talked about that quite a bit, that the same Spirit that raised Jesus Christ from the dead lives and dwells in you and me. And so that's that reference right there, Romans 8:11. And so in this passage, there's so much. And I know that was a lot to read at one time, but this week we're going to break it down and really dig into this. So Paul, of course, Paul wrote Romans, and he is setting up two things here, contrasting those who are according to the flesh, those who are according to the Spirit, and according to being controlled by. So let's just go into verse 5 right now. He says, "For those who are according to the flesh and are controlled by its unholy desires, set their minds on and pursue those things which gratify the flesh." So he says they are controlled by its unholy desires. Go back to what we read last week and what we studied out in 2 Timothy 1:7, that God has not given us a spirit of fear and all that goes with that, but he has given us a spirit of power, love, and self-control. A calm mind, a sound mind, well-balanced, untroubled, discipline, and self-control. that we who are controlled by the Spirit of God are not controlled by our flesh. And we have the ability to exercise restraint over our own emotions, impulses, and desires. That's a gift of the Spirit, to not have to spin out of control or to not have to be under the control of our flesh. All right, we're going to pick up here tomorrow. We're digging in this week. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.